quietly behind the scenes getting involved. And I keep reading stuff that who Benjamin Rush is. Benjamin Rush was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, and he was George Washington's doctor. Mm-hmm. Ended up killing George Washington, kind of, but like always, the medical system will do you harm if you spend too much time with him. Mm-hmm. But he just kept writing about this tobacco thing. I don't think it's going to go well. I think businesses are getting. He just kept predicting what took another 200 years to really develop.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm sort of feeling the same way about cannabis. Like, I don't think this is going to go well. I'm worried about it.
I don't think anything in society is going to go well, but we talk about this. I have a lot of hope.
Said, Rob, we're done, everybody. And for that, good night. Nothing's going to go well. Cave smoking. That's it. We're done.
Let's just all go back to the cave. No.
So, hey, I have some really, really good calls coming in. So let's try to get some of these. This is Chris. Go ahead there, Chris.
Hi, Dr. Drew.
Hey, buddy.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet.
My father was a professor of medicine at UCLA for 35 years and the founding medical director of the Pritikin Longevity Center.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah. And so 40 years ago, he showed that with healthy living, we could reduce our blood pressure and get off drugs. But that information hasn't really filtered into the full medical system.
Well, I would argue that compared to, I remember the Pritikin Center, and I remember when I was in medical school, it coming up sort of in the background quite a bit. And I would argue that pretty much most of what he was advocating has sort of become axiomatic in the sense that it's sort of accepted as true and good thinking. Just we can't get anybody to do it. That's, I think, the sort of zone we're in now. Do you disagree?
Well, I've been working with them for 20 years, and so I figured out that, well, Hans Selye said symptoms of stress are fatigue, and so people who are tired don't want to exercise. And bad news stress turns off happy chemicals in our brains, and then we don't enjoy exercise. And we turn to junk food, nicotine, alcohol, and illegal drugs to turn happy chemicals back on.
I like the construct. I would argue it's even more complicated. And your question here, I think, dovetails into what I'm thinking a little bit, which is that our childhood experiences are coming to bear on our psycho-biological, emotional condition in the present.
Definitely. Yeah, well, you explored the same thing in your awesome book, Cracked, about traumatic experiences and addiction.
Yep.
But my more important question was the new California Surgeon General, Nadine Burke Harris, is on a mission to make healthcare trauma informed. And
all for it.
So I feel like that's
all
relevant.
That's great.
Addiction.
Yeah, everything. Criminal justice, everything. Psychiatric. I have a flood of feelings about it. For sure, it's the right thing to do. I am delighted that finally, you got to know, Chris, that in the 90s, I was absorbing tons of criticism. There was even, believe it or not, a whole school of thought that said that adverse childhood experiences are overstated and really don't do anything to people in their adult life. So at least we've woken up from that slumber, right? Not only have we woken from that slumber, but now we're starting to talk about what to do about people that are traumatized. The idea of trauma-informed therapy or trauma-informed approach to everything, I totally agree with, but it's way more complicated than most of my peers understand. And to do it well takes a lot of experience and a lot of training, and we're just not doing that right now. So that's my discomfort with this orientation. If we're going to accept that it's true, which it is, we must arm ourselves accordingly, which we are not. Does that make sense?
Well, that's where I'm working with. My father's now 85, and he's got severe dementia, and he's gone to. It's easy for me because I know his life history to connect it to his traumatic experiences.
The dementia
over the last 10 years.
Be careful. That's a jump. That's a jump. By the way, I used to work in a dementia hospital, and the first thing I noticed when I went in there was particularly the men. All the men had pictures of themselves by the bedside, and they were like admirals in the Navy and captains of industry and just crazy stuff they've been doing. And I started wondering, I thought, oh my gosh, stress has got to be the thing. It's got to be stress inducing and dementia in these men. So I started interviewing their families, and to a person, they all said that this man had no stress. He loved his job, which confused me, but I found a common link amongst all of them. None of them slept. They all restricted their sleep. So I'm of the opinion that that may be a bigger issue than the stress itself. Did your dad work excessively and not sleep?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I agree. That's definitely a factor.
So,
when you're lying down, the brain gets a lot more blood.
Yep.
But Nadine Burke-Harris, the new California Surgeon General, has repeatedly pointed out that a high ACEs score, adverse childhood experiences, is a factor in dementia.
That makes sense to me, but that doesn't mean it's causational, right? It may be that there are substance uses involved in that. It may be people aren't sleeping normally because of the ACE, which we know they don't. It may be other psychiatric conditions that are also associated with dementia. So again, be careful. This research needs to be parsed out very, very carefully. I appreciate your call, man. I got to keep moving on. I have no idea what you're pointing at, Miss Producer. Oh, she wants me to look at my text that she's sending me. This is the, let's see. Oh, I've got Travis on the line.
Oh.
Let's get Travis in here, why don't we? How do I get him on my thing here? Okay, hold on. This is going to take a little doing because there's about 40 things on my screen. Hold on. He's already in? Travis, are you there? Travis?
I'm here, Dr. Drew. Can you hear me?
I got you, man. How are you?
Oh, doing well. How are you doing?
We are good. We're here
This
with...
way?
Okay, get yes.
This way.
Don't let Travis block
take
your
my
face.
spotlight again.
Do you guys know each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Travis. I think he's brilliant mind.
Travis, you